Hi, and welcome to a fresh episode of Platypod Perspectives, where we feature an amazing image like this one from our friend Deb Sandidge. She's a Platypod pro, and this image is just so striking. I cannot believe the detail and how close this beautiful bird portrait is, and I want to learn all about it, how it happened, from the person who snapped the shutter. Her name is Deb Sandidge. Deborah, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to talk about how I took the shot and everything platypod. So I would say since I got the platypod, I found so many different ways to use it. You know, it's something that I carry in use when I travel, different lenses, but at home, sort of the unexpected use for this is that I set it up on my desk. I have an L-shaped desk in my office. And on one side, there's a window and a nice view of birds and forests and woods and that kind of thing. So I set it up on my desk and just really got so involved with that kind of thing. I love to see the birds. I love to see what was out the window. And so it's been a journey the last few years, but I started out and just tried it with I think I was shooting the Z7, the Nikon Z7 II at the time, and tried different lenses. But that particular bird was a pretty good sized bird compared to like a smaller bird. Like that's a brown thrasher, and they have the most beautiful eyes. I think they're so expressive. So I really wanted to focus on the beautiful bird having a soft blurred background, and that's using an aperture of around 5.6 and in mealworms, because they absolutely adore mealworms. I learned about all the tricks and tips that certain birds like. Certain birds like millet, certain birds like mealworms and seeds and peanuts and all different things. But that particular bird is obsessed with the mealworms. So to get a mouthful of that, for some reason, it reminded me of the puffins, with the fish. So this is sort of my Florida version of that.
Okay, so talk a little bit more about your setup. You've got your camera always on the platypod, always right beside you while you're working at your desk. And you've also got quite the setup in the backyard to attract your subjects.
Yes. And, that's been a trial and error kind of thing, but it was essential to me to have a setup that I would be eye level with the birds. I didn't want to look down or look up. I really wanted to bring them at eye level. I felt like that was a more essential, more personal experience, just seeing right into their world, being part of their world. I would say that it's very, very peaceful kind of thing to do. So when I'm shooting, I don't think about the world or anything else. There's a really neat connection that happens with nature. And I just feel that every time that I shoot. So I can hear the birds from the window. I have a little video capture card that I run from my camera to my computer, so I can actually see. There's a back of my screen is on the computer. So if I see something that's interesting, I just pivot and I can shoot out the window. So whatever there is outside. I mean, if you're shooting something like birds and they're very small, if they're small in the frame, then it's really hard to connect, with the shot, But if the bird is big in the frame, you feel like you're there. You feel like you're part of this experience and you're seeing this in a very different way. And then I think that's meaningful to not just me, but something I want to share with people so they can also see and experience it. So there's been quite a few birds. So, again, this is just 18 feet up. I'm about a story and a half up from the outside of the window. So I have, a little bit of distance there. So, and right behind, there's a whole wood line and there's different birds out there. So they'll come at different times of the year. So we're really getting closer. We're getting migratory birds. I just saw a different one for the first time. So I know that things are starting to light up. So I'm really paying close attention. So having the platypod on my desk, ready to shoot. So literally, I have the platypod. On top of the platypod, I have a Wimberley gimbal. So the gimbal is what supports the camera so I can move it around and focus on a particular thing. And the platypod is the stability on the base. So having a larger lens. So I've really changed, different lenses throughout the years, but now I've really settled on I'm using the Nikon Z9 and the 400 millimeter f2.8 TC lens. So if I want to shoot a little bit further into the woods, I can do that. So it's been an evolution. It's been a really fun journey.
That's just such such a great capture and such a great way to approach it. I think when people see an image like this, they think, oh, where did you have to trek? How did you get there? I mean, was this an aviary? Was it something like that? Because it's such a gorgeous image, and the bird was obviously posing for a portrait. It was just an amazing shot. So understanding a bit more now behind your setup in your office and how you capture these. And I remember talking to you about this years ago, and then seeing image after image after image and just going, wow, these images are all coming from your office, from your yard, from your area. You just do a fantastic job. So thank you so much for sharing that info with us.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. I'm happy to share it.
Deb, how can people find out more about you? What places should they go to on the web, Instagram? Do you do workshops, anything like that?
Absolutely. So I'm Deb Sandidge, pretty much everywhere. Instagram, Twitter, TwitX, or whatever you want to call it now. And also Facebook. And my website, of course, is Deborah Sandidge. And the workshops would be listed in that section. So for next year, things that will be coming up, any type of talks or discussions. And people want to find out more. If they just want to ask me a question, I'm happy to answer. So.
Deb, thanks so much. I've learned a lot from you, and I think I might be better at bird photography after today. So you've inspired me, and I hope you've inspired a lot of viewers. This fantastic interview, and I love that image, and I know we're going to have you back on because you've got so many more, and we were even talking about one of those other images today. So in the future, you'll see more from Deb Sandidge. Make sure you check out more of Deb's work online and check out more of Platypod Perspectives, and maybe you could capture some of those great bird portraits out your office window.